So this is an interesting way to start April, but here we go. So good morning, everyone. Now that you can hear me, thank you for your patience. We'll start with the Pledge of Allegiance, please. If you can and are able to do so, please rise. If you have cover on, please remove your cover. And ready, begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you very much for doing that with us, trying to maintain at least some semblance of what we would normally do if we were all together in one room and in one place. Doing it virtually is a little bit more challenging. This is where I'm going to ask for anybody that might be new to San Diego ARES. If you've just joined, if this is your first meeting, you've joined and been joined for a while, but this is your first meeting, this is a good time for introductions. Wave a hand, let us know that you're new, introduce yourself, tell us what part of town you're in, and what your interest in ARES happens to be. Any new folks joining us today?
I see Alan waving his hand there.
And we'll cue Alan.
Hi, good morning. This is Alan, KN6SRD. Got my license probably a couple of months ago. Missed last month's meeting. I was working with Rob out at the one of the races, I think it's the 50 kilometer race out in Borrego. Always wanted to get into hams, got in it about a month ago, about 2 months ago, and wanted to join ARES just, to give back to the community and help out. And, Rob suggested that this is a good way to get into it. So good morning.
Very good. Welcome aboard.
Welcome.
Well, thanks.
Anyone else new to the group?
I think that applies to me. I've been to one meeting, not on Saturday morning, so I'm not sure I'm still a little confused about who the different groups are. But my name is Lee, Kilo Mike 6 UFF, got my license 2018. I've been part of the Fallbrook Amateur Radio Club pretty much since the start. And Ron, Steven, and those guys encouraged me to improve a little bit and in many different ways. So I've started getting more active in ARES, and I've contributed my contributions to Fallbrook's side. I've done a lot with lithium battery packs and developed some PowerPoints and things that's on their website. So.
Excellent. Very good. Welcome aboard.
Welcome.
Anyone else? All right. Hearing no additional traffic, we will move next to Dave, NAKBC. For those that don't already know, section manager, and he will tell us about all of the wonderful things going on with the ARRL website. No, I'm joking. He'll tell us about anything that he possibly can about the ARRL website, and we won't hold it against him. Hi.
Yeah.
We'll also discuss any other events that are at the national level, and we'll get into Rob discussing local. So Dave, kick it off.
All right. Tomorrow is a rookie roundup. Let's start there. And then the 18th is World Amateur Radio Day. And there is information on the website on how to spread that word around and what to do, things to do, and so on. The new fees for licenses go into effect on the 19th, but they do not count for upgrades. So at least we got that part taken care of and out of the way. Several people have sent me emails and calls about they can't log into the new website. I posted a couple things on how to do it. I sent the field services manager an email saying we were still having problems, and he sent back some more instructions. And I posted those this morning, so hopefully that lets people get in and to the new website. Basically, they rebuilt the whole thing. It wasn't just a website. It's their whole back end and everything they do for at the ARRL. The whole system was revamped. I think the only thing that was not touched this time was Logbook of the World. So that was still working throughout the whole thing, at least as far as I know. I haven't heard any complaints about that part. So other than that, we have a good presentation today, and Rob's got a bunch of good ones lined up. So Rob, go ahead.
Dave, thank you. Let me jump in or share screen here. And can you see that now?
Yes.
Okay, good. Thank you,
Yes.
Dennis. All right, so upcoming events, we've got our outdoor activity day planned for the last Saturday of this month, April 30th. The announcements for this April activity day are the same as have been in the past. We've got things lined up in Chula Vista, TR Santa, San Marcos, Fallbrook, Valley Center, El Centro. Always welcome to have more if any ECs want to organize things in their community. We thank the people that are planning these locations very much. We're going to have a 60-meter interoperability net, hopefully have some government stations that have non-ham call signs check in on the 60-meter net, the interoperability band for us. And each location is going to be doing things like task book sign-offs, VHF, HF demonstrations, talking about different parts of the hobby. Some people are going to be doing some parks on the air hunting, and so the flavor of each location will vary a little bit. It starts at 8 o'clock in the morning, and it'll last for 2, 4, 6 hours, depending upon the location. They each have different shutdown times. So thank you for those that are planning those activities. Okay, other future events coming up. The next Simplex Net for the Thursday evenings, where it replaces the repeater net. We had a blast a couple of weeks ago doing the Simplex Net. A lot of lessons learned. We'll be taking those lessons learned and improving our procedures for the next time around. We're probably going to run subnets, have the ECs run subnets for their different parts of the county, and then feed the ECs will feed the relays into central net control. Also in the last week, we found out that the Miramar Air Show is go for end of, oh, I put the wrong dates down there. So I'm sorry. It should be September.
Yes, thank you.
September 23, 24, 25. Put the wrong month down there. Okay. So if you're new to ARES, ARES supports lost and found, primarily children. Lost and found, we're patrolling the crowds, looking for lost kids. And so it's a good time to practice using your radio. If you're interested, send me an email at my call sign, K6RGF at ARRL.net, and we'll get you on the schedule for either Friday or Saturday or Sunday. Most people prefer to do a double shift all day on a day because getting in and out is difficult, but not everybody's schedule allows a full day shift. So we do break the day in half at about 12 noon, 1 p.m. And sometimes we have a barbecue set up in the middle of the day also during the shift change. We get burgers coming off the grill. Future meetings, Dave mentioned the other presentations coming up. The May meeting, we'll be having a special presentation from our Ramona EC on the communications, the wonderful work they've been doing in Ramona. They've got simplex and repeaters and everything worked out for high level, low level comms. And Ramona hams also reach all the way out to Ranchita. If you know where Ranchita is, you keep going, and then you turn and you keep going, and then you turn and keep going. That's Ranchita. So they've got their simplex nets running from Ramona to Ranchita. A great program there. We'll hear about that in May. And then June, ARES meeting will be primarily a planning meeting talking about field day, VHF contest, kids day. June is also a packed month. Some of us are supporting 2 endurance runs in the month of June. So that's going to be a very full schedule there. And just a reminder for everybody that the ARES websites, we've got 2 websites. We have the sdgares.net. So we have documents there, and that's what we use as the membership roster baseline. When you sign into that website, that's makes you an official member. And also for, as most of you know, we use the group's IO site for email, reflector communications. And all these meetings get posted on the San Diego ARES YouTube channel, where we have different training clips and also the recorded meetings. I usually break in post-production, I break the meeting into the administrative part and then the special presentation, so people can jump right into the special presentation if they want to skip over the administrative stuff. And Dave, Bruce, that's all I have. Back to you.
All right, Bruce, back to you.
Thank you, gentlemen. Any questions for Dave or Rob? Okay, the schedule that Rob just posted included June the 11th. And by strange coincidence, June the 11th is a Saturday, second Saturday of the month of June. It also happens to be the morning that the ARRL June VHF contest will kick off. I am personally planning on being significantly engaged in that event. And to that end, I honestly do not know if I'm going to be able to make that meeting. If I do, it'll probably be remotely from a windy hilltop near San Diego. More information on that probably in the month of May as we get closer. I'm already starting to put things together to go out and do that event. It's been roughly 5 years since I have, in fact, it has been, not roughly, it has been 5 years since I've put any significant effort into that particular event, and figuring that we are at the hopeful end of all the weirdness that we've had the last couple of years with COVID and things like that, I am going to, I'm going to take the hill, as the old saying goes. The last full weekend in June, which will be the 25th, 26th, I believe, is field day as well. And I've already started getting some requests and questions in regarding field day and participation with the group. And here's where I'm kind of at, just as a general. With the ARRL rules being modified the way they have been, primarily because of COVID, and because there's a lot of folks that are comfortable working from their homes, I'm really not sure what the group effort is going to look like. I would like to go out and do something in the field. I would like to go out and do something that would be public and outdoors, which is the spirit of field day in itself, and promote amateur radio in doing so. I would need some volunteers to help make that happen. So think about, and I know we've got a short group with us today, and I know this is being recorded, so as part of the recording, maybe we'll drive some interest as well. If you're interested in field day and participating away from home and in a field setting like we have done many, many times in the past, please reach out, let me know, and specifically what your availability is. As far as equipment and gear, to be completely honest, don't really need anybody to bring anything to the party. We have enough equipment and gear to go out and set up probably as many stations as we need to. If you would like to go out and bring something of yours along to go out and specifically try it, let's have that discussion. We've done that in the past as well, but I'm trying to lighten the burden on getting folks to engage and be a participant. So I'm just putting a generic statement out. You don't need to drag anything from home. We've got plenty of antennas, got plenty of coax, got plenty of wire, have plenty of computers, got plenty of radios, etc., 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 etc. Doesn't mean that you can't. Just trying to take away from having to go out and break your station down at home to go out and drag it out in the dirt. Don't need to do that. We got plenty of gear. So think about that. Let me know before then. Specifically, I'm trying to go out and get most of this arranged by the next meeting, which will be the second full weekend in May. on that Saturday. And we'll have that discussion. I don't really have anything additional that's happening. We did have a pop-up where the San Diego County Healthcare Coalition and other county agencies have decided to go out and have a drill this year, even though they had said a couple of months ago they were going to waive off for the year. They've decided to go out and have one now. And it was originally intended to have been a tabletop exercise only, which means not really a physical rollout. And when they've done tabletops in the past, we have sometimes gone ahead and done our own version of a drill just for simulation and just kind of keeping us in play as far as what we do, how we do it, how we orchestrate, and how we configure and set up for these types of events. So we've actually had a separate event outside of their tabletop. In this particular case, reading the intent to participate forms, which I did yesterday, it sounds very much like it's a regular drill. So I have signed ARES on board for the event. We'll probably have information this coming week in more detail about what we're going to be doing, if anything. And if it turns out that it really is a tabletop, then we'll have a discussion specifically about whether or not we play, vicariously and off to the side. And if it isn't a tabletop, then we'll talk about what we do to go out and put something together for real. And to that end, be thinking about how you are and how you will be, from a volunteer perspective, participating.
Bruce, is that
This is
November?
No, it's not. Hang on a second. I want to say July.
Yeah, I think it's mid to end of July.
Correct. I think it avoids and misses the CQ VHF contest, but it's in July. It's not
July
going to be
20
the end of the.
July 21st.
There you go. Thank you, Dave. Save me from having to go out and flip too many more screens around to look at email. So that's going to be interesting. It's short lead time. We're talking about just now signing on for the planning aspects of it, which we did yesterday. The announcement went out yesterday afternoon. We signed up about 15 minutes later. So we are as much in the dark at this point as I seem to be and sound like I am, because we are. I really don't know what's going to happen. Originally, as mentioned, it was intended to have been a tabletop exercise only, just to go out and keep just the general modicum of planning and how we do and how we orchestrate, how we facilitate from the healthcare perspective in play. Anyone else that's beyond that, like ARES would be, and like some of the other county support and regional support agencies would be, we were not supposed to have been in play. So we will find out, and as soon as we know, we will be relaying that information for planning purposes if we need to put a plan together. I really don't have anything else as far as getting back together for regular meetings. That's still in limbo. We're talking about probably after summer, 90 days out, roughly, is what they're looking at for at least my facility. And I am waiting to hear back from Sharp to see where they're at specifically. Part of this is predicated, as you might imagine, on what's happening with the latest and greatest variants that are out there, and they're concerned from a liability perspective if we have a group of folks meet in their facilities. So totally understandable. More on that as we get there as well. So for the meantime, here we are. We will be conducting the meetings virtually like we have been. We will be doing the presentations virtually. And hopefully in the near future, as I've been asked more than a few times, we'll get back to regular meetings. We'll get back to the get on the air classes afterwards and all of the great things that we used to go out and do before we all took that hard right turn at Albuquerque. I don't have any additional traffic. Does anybody else have any questions before we get started with today's presentation? Hearing none and not seeing any hands waving, I will turn it back over to Dave, let you push any magical buttons, and let's get started.
All right, I'm going to go ahead and mute everybody, just so we can keep track here. And if you do have any questions, if you go to Can't remember whether it's reactions, I believe. You can raise your hand. And that way we don't have everybody in here hollering all at once. And we will turn this over to Marty. Go ahead and mute everybody. And Marty, you'll have to unmute to which you've done. And go ahead with your presentation. And thank you.
Right. Thank you, Dave. And thank you, Rob, for the kind invitation to have me present about my two passions in life this morning. So give me 1 second to share my screen. See, can everybody see the full version of the presentation? Excellent.
Yes, we can.